and with 18 months, almost half the population of Britain would be dead. The dead at that time were normally interred carefully with their feet facing east, so that they could stand and face Jerusalem on the Day of Judgment. But when the plague struck, there were so many corpses and so few people left to bury them that they were often thrown unceremoniously in huge communal pits. Families were split, the healthy moving away from the sick to avoid infection. In some cases, parents were forced to abandon children for whom nothing could be done in order to save those who remained well. In records of the time, such as manorial rolls and lists of clergy, one could see the names of men and women struck through as they died, a poignant reminder of what the population faced as they watched their family, friends, and neighbours succumb and waited with dread to see whether they would be next. Seaports such as Dartmouth and Devon fared particularly badly, as ships brought the infection in from elsewhere. Priests tending the sick and giving the last rites to the dying were especially vulnerable, and the Diocese of Exeter was one of the worst hit in England, losing half its clergy. Understandably, the survivors at the time came to regard death as a constant companion, and the art of the time, in illustrated books and on the walls of churches, reflects this. The story of the 3 living and the 3 dead, referred to in this book, was particularly popular, as were paintings of a grisly dance of death, 2 layer or transi tombs depicting a dead nobleman or bishop in rich robes above a rotting corpse beneath became fashionable. All were equal in death, and King Death mocked the pretensions of social superiority. I hope the people of Ashwell in Hertfordshire will forgive me for using a variation of the graffiti on the wall of their parish church tower in this story. It was possibly carved by their despairing priest as he watched his parishioners dying. Miserable, wild, distracted, the dregs of the people alone survive to bear witness. It serves as a harrowing reminder of the horrors endured by the population in the 14th century. Things could never be the same in England again after the devastation of the Black Death. However, the resultant shortage of labour led to the end of serfdom and an improvement in the economic prospects of the survivors as labour became a seller's market. Every cloud has a silver lining of some kind. To come forward in time, I was surprised to discover in the course of my research that in the 1960s and 1970s, Devon had indeed been sprayed with massive quantities of E. coli 162 and Bacillus globigii as part of secret germ warfare tests. The government claimed that the trials posed no risk to public health. However, it was later found that the old, the young, and those with lowered immunity were at risk of lung infections. Farmers lost cattle to an E. coli infection around the time of the trials, and in a village at the centre of the test area, many miscarriages and severe birth defects were reported. On the 12th of November 1997, the Member of Parliament for Tainbridge praised the Western Morning News for bringing the matter to the public's attention and reminded the House of Commons that many people in the area still suffered a growing number of unexplained illnesses and medical conditions. When I first had the idea for the Plague Maiden, I feared that the notion of inflicting germ warfare trials on Devon might be considered a little far-fetched. But then sometimes the truth is harder to believe than fiction. You have been listening to The Plague Maiden. It was written by Kate Ellis and read by Gordon Griffin. Other recordings by Kate Ellis include An Unhallowed Grave, The Armada Boy, and The Merchant's House. This has been a Soundings Audiobooks presentation. If you've enjoyed this production, please write to us at Isis House, Kings Drive, Whitley Bay, Tyne and Wear, NE26 2JT, or call 0191 253 4155 or visit our website